Morning, everybody. This week's parsha is Kiseitse. In the parsha, it talks about, in the fifth reading, it says, Kisavai bekerem re'echa, when you will come to the vineyard of a fellow's vineyard, you may eat as many grapes as you desire until you are satisfied. That means, if someone is working for somebody in a vineyard, you're not allowed to hold back from him to eat. He's picking the grapes. So you have to be able to give him also to enjoy a lot of amount of the grapes, and the amount is that he could eat whatever, as long as he's not allowed to take in a basket and go home, but he could, while he's picking, he could pop a couple in his mouth as much as he wants. That's when it comes to a vineyard. When it comes to a fellow's field of grain, so then you may pluck ears. You can't take a whole pile, but you could take pieces here and there. So it seems like that from the pasuk that you could have more grapes than other things. So it's explained like this. There is a rule that when Hashem tells us to do things, He Himself does the same on His level. So there is this idea that when you come to hire somebody, so on one hand you have to give him reward, you have to pay him, but in addition to that, if he's working in the field, you have to give him that he should be able to eat a little bit in the field also. So when it comes to us fulfilling God's wishes and doing Torah mitzvahs, so we know the reward is too great to be in this world. So the reward that we get for the real Torah mitzvahs doesn't exist in this world. The world cannot handle it. You're doing such a powerful thing. You're connecting to God. The world is a creation. The world cannot fathom, cannot hold, cannot contain the great power, the great light that we would get for the reward. However, we are in the field, so if we're in the field, we're allowed to have some food just to sustain ourselves, to keep ourselves going. So when we get in this world, we get just to keep us going, But there's a difference between the grapes and the field. The grapes is more of a luxury. The field is more of a necessity. So it also depends on us how we're doing our Judaism, how we are connecting to God. Are we doing it just as a necessity? So then you have a limited amount of how much you could have in the field. But if you're doing it as a luxury, if you're doing it as something that you enjoy, wine, it brings pleasure. If you're doing something not just that I have to do it, but I enjoy it, so then in a sense you're elevating yourself to a level that's like you're working in a vineyard. You can eat as many grapes as you want. So Hashem should help. We should be inspired not just to fulfill and to work and to serve God, but we should develop an enjoyment, a pleasure, that when we're doing it, we're upgrading ourselves. It's like you become the manager, right? You have people work in a restaurant. They're allowed to take food, but they can't take the steaks. I've seen a couple of times in a restaurant, they have certain things on the menu, then they have the expensive, and they say, listen, the expensive stuff you can't have on a regular. But the manager, he can take whatever he wants. So it's up to us if we want to be a regular worker or if we want to be a manager. So Hashem should help. We should be able to manage our lives. We should be able to manage everything we need to do. And we should be zeicha to all the blessings. B'karev mamish with Mashiach Tzidkeinu Meher V'neinu V'noimar. Amen.